All right, another bad angle rink. Um, if you have a Live Barn subscription, the Live Barn is right at the center ice. Good news is we will be shooting twice on this side. Came to be my color? Good, how are you? It is the same view. The first game of the weekend's against Florida Alliance. We're going to start off with Rabicki Campbell. Oh, no. Yeah, that is Campbell. Paulo, Reynolds, Pulauskas. Sorry about the bad view. It's the only angle that is available here in this ring. We'll do our best to call it out for you. Florida Alliance win the first face-off. Slowly bounces off of the corner, a little messy. Florida picks it up and brings it into the zone. Chip forward, goes off to the back wall. Florida bringing it into the corner, loses an edge. Campbell working, trying to get that puck out, does. Over to Pulauskas. Florida steps in front of Pulauskas' attempt to chip it out. Loose puck into the middle of the ice. Florida gets it back, brings it back into the zone. Rabicki picks it up, goes behind Dabrowski. Dabrowski in net today for the first game. Paulo. Shot. No rebound. 16:24 to go in the first. We'll get our first line change. Chalicki, Nietzsche, Letcher with Prisgintis and Aldridge. Nietzsche to take the draw. Face off. Push between Nietzsche's feet. Florida Alliance picks it up and sends it into the neutral zone. Nice hit by Prisgintis. Puck comes loose over into the middle of the ice. Prisgintis picks it up, sends it off the boards for Nietzsche, intercepted by Florida, and Fury's offsides. Same personnel out for this face-off. Nietzsche knocks that puck back to Aldridge. Aldridge goes cross ice for Letcher. Letcher enters the zone, comes in, gets past it, backhand goal, beats the goaltender with 15:57 to go in the first. Letcher from Aldridge, and it's 1-0 Fury. Got to change. And Koshkowski, Bergeron, and Credidio come out with Miller and Onak. Miller picks up that face-off and throws it in. Florida takes it behind their goaltender. Up the side boards, picked up by Miller, back to Onak. Onak up the boards for Krzyzkowski. Krzyzkowski chips forward, picked up by Florida. Florida off the right side board, brought back in by Miller and chipped by Credidio. Florida back to Credidio. Good hit by Krzyzkowski. Knocks the man off the puck. Onak tries to throw that forward. Florida keeps it in. Florida got an opportunity here. Dumps the puck in and goes for a change. Onak pins the puck with Miller helping out. Chipped out to Credidio. Credidio pass to Bergeron. Gets knocked back in by Florida. Back into the corner. Miller escapes. Puts it off the boards. Onak is there and pins his man. Puck's still loose. Put back down low. Hit off of the glass by Krzyzkowski. Florida comes right back in. Krzyzkowski goes for a change. Kruger comes on. Bergeron changes. Carter comes on. And Kruger's just offsides. 14:33 to go. 1-0 after the goal from Letcher. So Carter, Kruger, Brown, Campbell, and Rybicki for the neutral zone faceoff. Florida wins that puck back. Brown in on the pressure. They go D to D. Carter gets tied up and takes a little bit of stumble. Florida sends it in. Campbell puts that puck low, goes into the corner. Rybicki's there, chips it ahead, trying to get the Brown. Brown takes it away. Carter entering. He's got Brown trailing. Carter gets pinned. Brown comes over to help. Puck still in feet. Carter working it. Brown digs it. Gets it up to Rybicki. Rybicki cross ice for Campbell. Campbell looking for Brown. Hits Brown's skate. Florida into the corner. Carter with a nice hit. Brown coming in on the forecheck. Florida gets a cross ice pass, but couldn't quite handle it. They have to regroup. Puck cross ice enters the zone, but Florida mishandles it. Campbell pushes it out. Brown is changed. Pulauskas is on. Carter goes for a hit. Puck gets knocked loose. Kruger had it, but mishandle. Puck goes high, hits the crossbar. Back into the corner. Florida working on the sideboard. Brings it down low. It's behind Dabrowski. Carter chips it back behind Dabrowski. Rybicki ties his man up. Carter pins his man. Florida gets out. Quick shot wide off of the glass and over to the left side. Kept in by Florida. Pulauskas tried to chip it forward. It goes back in. Campbell trying to work it out. Florida brings it right back. Rybicki gets a hold of it, goes across for Kruger. Kruger gets it out of the zone and flips and changes Pulauskas. Hard on the forecheck. Everybody misses the puck. Pulauskas picks it back up. Reynolds is out now, and so is Paulo. Florida coming up the right side board. Centering pass doesn't hit. It goes in the corner. Priskinsis is out now on D, and so is Aldridge. 12:13 to go in the first. Florida with a shot in front, blocked by Aldridge. Pulauskas tries to pass to Priskinsis. Florida comes back the other way. Centering pass. Good job by Pulauskas. Got a stick on it, and now we've got a whistle. Puck's coming outside the zone, so must have been a crease violation. Florida wins the faceoff, brings it in on the right side. Paulo goes to get it in the corner. Florida battling behind the net, hits the net behind Dabrowski, and get another whistle. Face-off pushed back to the corner, chipped off of the glass and up for Reynolds. Reynolds takes it away from Florida, brings it in, tries to get past one, knocked away. Paulo sends it back to Reynolds. Reynolds in front, goes for a short side goal, and the net gets knocked off, so we get a whistle. Chalicki, Nietzsche, and Letcher come on. Miller and Onak at D. Nietzsche taking the face-off. Florida gets kicked out. Face-off one back to Miller. Miller down low for Chalicki. Bounces off of Chalicki's stick. Florida tries to fling it high, and it hits the ductwork. Face-off will stay in zone. Nietzsche wins that face-off to Chalicki. Chalicki to Onak. Onak to Miller. Miller shot is blocked. Puck goes back to Onak. Onak takes a moment, gets D to move, and shot is saved. Glove side. No rebound. Letcher to take this face-off. Florida goes early, gets kicked out again. 11:15 to go in the first. Letcher pulls that puck forward, but it gets knocked away by Florida. Florida takes it up the left side board and into the neutral zone. Puck down low, centering pass, gets deflected, but goes behind Dabrowski. Another shot goes across the crease. Chalicki tries to get it out and kept in by Florida. Puck in some feet. Miller works it up the board to Letcher. Letcher gets pinned, still trying to work the puck out. Florida keeps it in and sends it down deep. Onak takes that off of the corner, goes back behind Dabrowski, gets the puck up to Chalicki. Chalicki sends it ahead. Florida gets a change and puts it into the neutral zone. Tries to enter on the right side and gets taken away by Campbell. Florida back to their D, takes a step, goes to the side, hits off of Dabrowski, drops in front, and Florida tucks it in. 1-1. Well, my chat function's not working on this Wi-Fi, so I can't type anything in. But 10:10 to go in the first, it's 1-1. Bergeron, Credidio, Kushkowski come on. Campbell and Rybicki at D. Kushkowski wins that faceoff back. Credidio gets it over to Campbell. Campbell chips into neutral zone for Bergeron. Bounces past Berge, and Florida brings it into the zone. Florida behind Dabrowski. Gets taken down, and see who the penalty's on. It's going to be Rybicki. Well, Aldridge, Prisgintis, Reynolds, and Paulo out to start this kill. Florida sends it over to the right side board and up. Cross ice now off of the boards and brought back down. Florida goes down low. Puck back up the boards and then sent back to the corner. Florida works the puck out of the corner, and good job by Reynolds, gets the puck out into the neutral zone. Florida drops back, circles, and back through the neutral zone. Right side entry for Florida. They lose an edge. Good job by Reynolds to get to it. It gets knocked away, and Florida puts it back into the corner. Minute 10 to go on the kill. Gintis battling, trying to get that puck knocked away. Centering pass misses. Reynolds sends it all the way down, and we get a change. Bergeron and Krzyzewski come out. Miller and Onak. Puck dropped down low. Dabrowski tries to slow it down. Florida takes it back to the backboard, now up the side. Carried across by the D, opposite side, up to the point. Shot seen all the way by Dabrowski, blocked aside. Puck to the corner. Bergeron tries to pin his man. Florida still with the puck down low and back up the boards. To the point again. Looking for an opportunity in the middle, goes wide. Florida takes it down, 17 seconds to go on the kill. Good job by Onak, gets the puck over to Miller. Miller, off of the glass, it hits a stanchion. Onak clears it, goes all the way down. 3 seconds to go. Krzyzewski back behind the net. Brown and Kruger come on. Krzyzewski goes for a change. Puck comes up the right side. Carter's on. Campbell pins Florida down. Puck up the sideboard. Kruger has it. Carter comes over to help. Good job by Carter. Digs that puck out. He's got Kruger streaking. Carter still working with it. Gets knocked aside. Carter sends it down to the corner. Brown comes over to help. Puck goes opposite side. Stick broken. Carter. Kruger cross to Rybicki. Rybicki in front. Taken away by Florida. Florida back through the neutral zone. Brown gets a stick lift. Kruger sends that puck out of the zone and carries in. Brown changes. Shot by Kruger and no rebound. We'll get a face-off. Credidio, Palauskas. And Reynolds. Credidio's going to take this face-off. 6:42 to go in the first, tied 1-1. Face-off, push to the back wall. Florida sends it around, but Palauskas gets there. Palauskas cross ice for Gintis. Shot in front. Deflects over to the corner. Knocked away from Palauskas. Reynolds comes to chase it down. Does knock puck off man, and Palauskas gets it back. Tries to pass to Credidio. Reynolds, nice job. Knocks that puck away. Still working. Leaves it for Credidio, gets tied up. Credidio all tied up. Florida goes the opposite direction. They send it all the way down. That'll be an icing. Shalicki, Nietzsche, and Letcher come on. Gintis and Aldridge at D. Face off, one back to Aldridge. Aldridge sends it into the corner. Up the left side board, bounces off for Florida's stick. Nietzsche's got an opportunity in front. Shot goes high and a little wide. Letcher chips that back up. Aldridge picks it up. Shot in front, tipped by Letcher, still loose. And we got a whistle. 5:42 to go. Good opportunity. Face off one to Letcher. Letcher to Porzingis. Porzingis shot goes wide up the sideboard. Florida has a penalty for a high stick. So we're going to go on the power play. We're going to send out Paolo, Nietzsche, Letcher, Reynolds, and Onak. Face off one back to Reynolds. Cross for Onak. Onak walks it in. Shot looking backdoor for Letcher. Misses. Nietzsche takes that off of the wall. Gets it to Paolo. Paolo to Onak. Onak given space. Goes backdoor for Reynolds. Reynolds shot off of the blocker on the back. Nietzsche picks it up. Sends it to Paolo. Paolo to Nietzsche. Nietzsche takes it up the boards. Gives it to Onak. Onak brings it back down. Switch places with Paolo. Centering pass. Misses, but it finds Reynolds. Reynolds' shot goes wide. Over to Paolo. Paolo walks the blue line. Gets it to Reynolds one time. Off of the pad. Bounces off of the backboard. Puck's pinned. Paolo and Letcher trying to dig it out. Minute left on the power play. Letcher gets it up. Deflects off. Florida gets a hold of it and sends it out of the zone. Florida goes for a change. Onak picks it up. Sends it forward for Letcher. Letcher enters the zone. Drops for Nietzsche. Nietzsche to the centers. Got a lane. Blocker save. Buck over to the far board. Goes to Nietzsche. Nietzsche to Letcher. Over to Paolo. Paolo to Campbell. Cross for Reynolds. Reynolds leaves for Campbell. Knocked away by Florida. Reynolds gets back. Takes that puck away. Goes behind Dabrowski. Puck on the sideboard. Reynolds and Paolo battling with Campbell. Paolo gets it. Sends it over to Kushkowski. Kushkowski. Carter's on as well with Pulauskas. Puck knocked away. Carter gets it to Pulauskas. Pulauskas to Porzingis. Porzingis. Shot is deflected. Power play is over. We're even. Puck down low for Pulauskas. Over to Kushkowski. Kushkowski gets tripped. No call. Florida digs that puck out, but kept in by Campbell. Campbell going to get a penalty. Looks like they're calling Campbell for a hook. Face off one back by Florida. Paolo and Bergeron out for the kill. Miller and Onak at D. Puck knocked down low. Onak pins his man, taken off of the boards by Florida. Puck down low behind Dabrowski, up on the left side. Paulo loses an edge. Florida sends it in front. Dabrowski covers up that rebound real quick, and we'll get a change. Chalicki and Reynolds are going to come on with Aldridge and Prisgintis. Florida wins that faceoff back, go down the left side. Centering pass knocked aside by Prisgintis and then cleared. Puck comes all the way down for Florida. Florida comes out on the right side. Centering pass, deflected in front. Doesn't look like it hit off of Dabrowski. Florida gets it back and sends it in. Takes it down on the right side, comes back behind Dabrowski and up to the point. Down to the left side, walk down, back down low for Florida, up to the sideboard. Walked in, backdoor pass, misses the one time. Back around for Florida. Puck in front, tried to tip it, goes down low, wide of Dabrowski, and Florida gets it back to the point. Aldridge pins his man, puck goes below Dabrowski. I think we're calling a hand pass. Oh, no. There's a penalty. What's the penalty? Holding. Okay. So there's a penalty called. We're going to go 4-on-4 for 21 seconds, and then we're going to go on the power play. Brown and Kruger. Miller and Onak. Face off, won by Kruger. Brown picks it up, sends it across. Florida puts it up the board. Brown picks it up, sends it back down low for Kruger. Kruger circling up the boards, gets it over to Onak. Onak gets a lane, it gets deflected, goes over the opposite side. Florida off of the board, sends it cross ice. Penalties over, we're on the power play. Carter's come out. Puck just bounces off of Kruger's stick. Florida gets it back. Brown comes up to challenge. Florida sends it down to Dabrowski. 35 seconds to go in the period, 122 in the power play. Kruger takes it up the board, goes cross ice for Miller. Miller, loses an edge, gets taken down. Brown gets it up to Onak. Onak back to Brown. Brown circling, back to Onak. Cross ice for Miller. Miller takes a shot, goes off the crossbar, bounces over to the sideboard. Florida trying to get it out. Brown doing a nice job of making sure that they can't, and Brown's going to go for a penalty. So we'll go back to 4-on-4 for 50 seconds. Brown for a hook. Nietzsche taking the space off with Letcher. Florida gets a face off. It's blocked in front. Looked like by Onak, and that'll be the end of the first. So 1-1 after one. Letcher with the Fury goal.
I've got to ask.
Yes, sir.
Answer your phone. You have to hook up to YouTube on your computer's Wi-Fi. Wireless hotspot.
No, I just keep it on. I have the computer up so I can tell if it's not online.
You don't even need it.
I don't need the computer. I usually I do put like updates, like text updates,
Sure.
but it's not working on this Wi-Fi for some reason. So like, that way, like when people watch, they can see, you know, whatever. Right? Yeah, yeah. Because it's hard to keep the without multiple cameras. It's hard to keep the scoreboard inside all the time. But no, I just use the. It's just streamed on the phone. We have a YouTube page. Anybody can watch it. Yeah, pretty easy.
Didn't have the mic, would still pick up your voice.
Not well.
Not well.
Yeah. Yeah.
You ever get rough from people saying you can't do it because we're a live barn range or whatever?
Only like null stuff when they're like doing their own. Yeah. But other than that, they leave us alone. Yeah. Chicago. But I suppose anybody from Florida could watch it if they wanted. Well, if she's got a live barn, that's probably from the live barn feed. All right, Florida bring the puck in on the right side. Puck goes off of the boards, picked up by Onak. Onak has Letcher with him. Shot deflects off of the stick of the goaltender and into the netting. Face-off one back to Miller. Miller sends it in deep. Puck goes into the corner. Letcher goes to pin his man. Puck came loose. Florida takes it back behind their goaltender. Letcher, Nietzsche, Onak, Miller out there. Florida comes out from behind their net. Comes up the sideboard. Pushed to the side by Nietzsche. Puck goes low around the boards. Florida keeps it in. Gets it up to their D. Puck wide. Florida still with it. He lost his thigh protection there. Yeah, it came right out of his pads. I haven't seen one drop out like that. He's got a nice rip in there. Florida back up to the point. Shot deflected in front. Goes behind over to Miller. Miller has some space, so he's just going to take it. Puts it over to Letcher, and Letcher drops it in. D changes, and Ribicki and Campbell come on. We're on the kill for about 13 seconds. Kishkowski and Bergeron are out. Florida gets past Campbell. Good stick by Ribicki. Gets that puck to go wide. Kishkowski comes over, knocks the puck, and that'll be an icing. The penalty had expired, so Credidio's on now. 14:59 to go. So Credidio, Kishkowski, Bergeron, Aldridge, and Prisgintis. Florida wins that faceoff back, kept in by the D, sent along the sideboard, misses to Prisgintis. Prisgintis throws it off of the board. It rolls down to the corner, no icing. Kushkowski comes over, puck on the sideboard, moved up, kept in by Aldridge, knocked away by Florida. Florida coming down. Prisgintis comes across, takes the man, knocks the puck away, and puts it across the board. Puck comes back down low for Florida. They got a guy in front. Dabrowski gets a stick on Kushkowski over to help. The net comes loose. We get a whistle and a change. Carter, Brown, Kruger come back out. Prisgintis and Aldridge stay at D. 14:26 to go in the second. 1-1. Kruger wins that puck to Aldridge. Prisgintis sends it up for Carter. Hits off of Carter's stick, but before the red line, and that'll be an ice. Ugh. Same group, Kruger. Kruger gets kicked. Carter comes in to take the face off. Carter wins that over to Aldridge. Aldridge Prisgintis high off of the glass and out of play. Kruger back in for the face-off. Kruger wins that over to Aldridge. Aldridge around. Brown protects the puck, gets it over to Carter. Carter to Prisgintis. Prisgintis moves around one, moves around two. I think he was dropping it, but Brown picks up that puck, gets it over to Aldridge. Aldridge shot in front, looked like it was blocked. Florida clears. Aldridge gets there, so no ice. Tries to leave it for Prisgintis, knocked away by Florida. Florida working off of the sideboard. Puck down low. Prisgintis comes over to help. Puck in the middle, knocked away by Dabrowski. Carter takes it. Carter entering the zone with Kruger. Kruger. Puck gets knocked away. Puck goes up the boards. Brown changes. Pulauskas comes on. Onak pushes this guy off of the puck. Carter picks up the puck, but then loses it on Dabrowski. He covers, and we get a whistle. Paulo Pulauskas. Reynolds with Miller and Onak. 13:20 to go in the second. Paulo taking this face off. One over to Miller. Miller behind Dabrowski over to Reynolds. Reynolds. Across for Paulo. Paulo. Shot deflected, goes into the corner. Pulauskas is down there. Bounces off of the board. Reynolds tries to keep it in. Bounces off of the sideboard there. Cross ice. Paulo picks it up. Brings it down the sideboard and into the corner. Florida tries to get it out. Miller gets a shot on. Bounces into the glove of the Florida goaltender, and we get a whistle. a nice glare on that piece of glass. Florida picks up the puck, takes it up the sideboard, chips it to the neutral zone. Miller picks it up, looking for Reynolds, but missed everybody. Reynolds picks up the puck, though, and gets past two Florida defenders, carries the puck, chips it down low into the corner. Centering pass deflected. Polauskas goes for a hit, gets knocked down. Florida back into the neutral zone. Onak takes it away. In the corner, around for Chalicki. Nietzsche and Chalicki have come on. Polauskas sends it in. Centering for Nietzsche, hits off of the stick and cleared by Florida. That's going to go for icing. So Letcher joins Nietzsche and Chalicki. And Rubicki joins Campbell at D. Clock still running. All right, they fixed the clock, put 11:40 back on. 11:40 to go in the second. We should get an ice cut around halfway through. Nietzsche wins that puck over to Chalicki. Chalicki gets it to Campbell. Campbell puts a shot, goes wide over to the opposite corner. Florida picks it up off of the boards and through the middle of the neutral zone. Puck shot on Dabrowski, goes wide. Rubicki cross for Letcher. Letcher cross center ice and into the zone. Gets knocked away. Rubicki picks that up, gets it over to Campbell. Campbell crosses center ice and throws it in. Florida trying to get it off of the boards. Rubicki keeps it in, gets a shot, knocks off of the chest of the goaltender, and it's down low. Rubicki walks off of the side, gets it over to Campbell. Centering pass for Chalicki gets knocked away. Florida tries to clear again. Campbell sends it in. Nietzsche to Chalicki. Chalicki passing for Nietzsche goes to the opposite board. Florida enters the zone. Shot on and into the netting. 10:28 to go in the second. Kushkowski, Bergeron, Credidio with Aldridge and Priskinsis. Kushkowski gets kicked out. Dropped. Credidio wins that to Aldridge or to Priskinsis. Around for Bergeron. Bergeron puck gets knocked away and back into the corner. Aldridge is there. Aldridge has to pin his man. Kushkowski comes over to help. Kushkowski across for Priskinsis. A little ahead of Priskinsis, but he gets a stick on it, kept in by Bergeron. Bergeron takes a hit. Puck goes low. Credidio and Kushkowski working down low. Florida winds up digging it out. Pass intercepted by Bergeron, but then knocked away by Florida and into neutral ice. Aldridge, good job pinning his man, gets the puck to come loose to Priskinsis. Priskinsis up to Kushkowski over to Credidio. Credidio tries to send that in deep. Florida gets in the way. Puck goes onto the sideboard. Good job covering space by Priskinsis. Knocks the puck away. Bergeron knocks it back to Priskinsis. Priskinsis sends it in. Kruger goes in. Brown and Carter have come on a change. Florida chips the puck in down low. Onak is there. Onak escapes. Goes up the boards. Cross from Kruger. Looks like it tipped Kruger's stick. Carter, nice hit, gets the puck into the corner. Kruger and Carter working. Puck comes loose and behind the net. Brown, good stick. Puck still in the zone. Carter ties up, makes its way to Kruger. Kruger tries to get past a Florida defensive player, but knocked away. Florida sends it all the way down, and that'll be an icing. 8:42 to go in the second, and we're going to call for the ice cut. So give it 10 minutes. We'll be back. We're ready for the second part of the second period. We're going to start off with Reynolds, Paulo, Pulauskas, Onak, and Miller. So 8:42 to go in the second, still 1-1. Face-off, one back by Paulo to Miller. Miller takes it down the side, centers, gets deflected over to Onak. Onak, shot goes wide. Paulo keeps it in and sends it down deep. Florida takes it and puts it up the sideboard. Reynolds is there, knocks the puck over to Pulauskas. Pulauskas, puck gets taken away. Florida gets it into neutral ice. Onak knocks that puck, but picked up by Florida. Miller steps in front of the Florida guy, knocks the puck over to Reynolds. Reynolds, puck gets pushed back onto the backboard. Onak sends it across for Pulauskas. Pulauskas tries to get past one, gets stick aside, and we're offsides. 8:03 to go. We're send out Chalicki, Nietzsche, and Letcher. Florida controls that face-off. Brings it across, puts it in on Dabrowski. He has to push it to the corner. Onak sends it up to Nietzsche. Nietzsche to Letcher across for Chalicki. Chalicki gets a shot and glove save. We'll get a D change. Campbell and Rybicki come on. Florida digs that puck out, sends it along the sideboard. Quick stop and a shot blocked by Rybicki. He was just trying to tie up the other guy and hits him in the chest. Florida gets a shot, goes wide of Dabrowski. Rybicki tries to send it off the glass and goes into the netting. We're going to send out Kushkowski, Bergeron, and Credidio. 7:26 to go. Kushkowski to take the draw. Puck bounces on the drop, makes the way to Rybicki. Rybicki gets it over to Credidio. Credidio to Burge. Burge sends it in. Goes in on the forecheck. Puck over to the sideboard. Florida sends it up. Credidio gives it to Campbell. Shot in front. Bergeron was there, but no rebound given. Kushkowski wins that faceoff back to Campbell. Campbell down the sideboard and winds up behind the goaltender over the opposite corner. Kushkowski sends it to Credidio. Credidio up to Rybicki. Rybicki, shot blocked in front. Takes a stick. No call. Rybicki picks it back up, sends it over to Credidio. Credidio across for Campbell. Campbell up off of the glass, kept in by Florida. Sent back down the sideboard. Campbell, good stick, knocks it to Bergeron. Bergeron up for Credidio. Credidio gets the puck knocked away. Florida comes back in. Rybicki into the corner. Kushkowski over to help, gets the puck to Credidio. Credidio up the sideboard and over to Bergeron. Bergeron sends the puck into the zone. Florida trying to get into the middle of the ice. Campbell knocks it away and sends it back out of the zone. Carter's come in on a change. Puck off of the board. Florida brings it in on the side. Carries in front. Dabrowski knocks it to the backboard. Credidio sends it around the boards. Florida keeps it in, knocks off of their skate, and goes into neutral ice. Kushkowski gets a change. Kruger comes on. Campbell tries to send that forward. Puck gets knocked behind Dabrowski and around. No icing. Florida must have hit that one. Slowed down behind Brown comes on for Credidio. Prisgintis is D. Carter gets that loose puck, chips forward. Gets interfered with. Kruger pins his man. Carter over to help. Carter knocks it loose. Picked up by Florida. Brown over to give some pressure. Florida centering pass misses. Brown gets a hit on. Prisgintis sends it up the boards and out of the zone. Puck knocked loose. Florida comes back in. Prisgintis and Kruger working on the side. Puck goes low, and Aldridge is there. Aldridge tries to chip ahead. Reynolds digs it out, gets it to Brown. Florida knocks it back in. Prisgintis working from behind. Kruger gets pinned. Reynolds has the puck. He's going wide. He's got Brown with him. Shot in front, rebound. Brown picks it up. Working on the board, still working. Florida comes over, knocks it away. Paulo came over to help. Brown changes. Pulauskas comes on. Florida chips past Miller. Onak over to help. Comes back behind Dabrowski. Makes a move, gets a puck over to Pulauskas. Pulauskas through the middle. Gets a shot. Blocked. Goes over to the backboard. Paulo working in the corner with Reynolds. Comes back onto the backboard. And Florida takes it up the boards and flicks it up. Reynolds gloves it down. Puck and feet dug out. Onak tries to pass it back to Pulauskas. Another pass to Pulauskas is blocked as he tries to get a shot off, and Florida sends it for an icing. 3:36 to go in the second, still 1-1. Nietzsche, Chalicki, Letcher come on. Campbell and Rabicki at D. All right, had to move away from that glare. Letcher gets taken down, pucks in his feet. Chalicki knocks it loose. Letcher takes a hit on the boards. Florida comes back the other way. Campbell puts his man on the board, shot on Dabrowski, flicks it aside over to Nietzsche. Nietzsche tries to get that to Chalicki. Florida able to keep it in the zone. Centering pass, good tie up by Campbell. The Florida goaltender comes out to play and sends it into neutral territory. Circling back up through the middle. Centering pass, Dabrowski deflects it into the netting. Kashkowski, Credidio, Bergeron, Aldridge, and Prisgintis on the ice. 2:41 in the second. Kashkowski takes the space off. Florida wins it back. Tries to get a shot off. It's blocked in front. Credidio, nice touch pass over to Kashkowski. Kashkowski gets a shot low. Blocked aside into the corner by the goaltender. Credidio, Bergeron, and Kashkowski working. Puck comes loose over and sent out to Prisgintis. Prisgintis puts it back in. Florida carries forward, tries to get past Aldridge. Aldridge with a good tie up. Puck to the corner. Prisgintis, hard and out. That's going to go for an icing. 2:03 to go in the second. And we'll get a change. Carter, Kruger, Brown come on. Same defensive pairing of Prisgintis and Aldridge. Kruger wins that over to Aldridge. Aldridge around for Brown. Brown tries to chip it forward, doesn't get enough on it. Brown this time does get enough over to Carter. Carter takes a hit, and I think Kruger was offsides. Minute 50 to go. Kruger's going to take this face off. Brown on the left, Carter on the right. Florida chips that forward. Aldridge gets a stick on it. Another stick by Kruger, sends the puck to the corner. Carter tried to get a hit on. Puck up to the D, cross ice. Shot blocked by Carter. Brzgintzis and Kruger working on the backboard. Florida sends it back up. Cross for their D. Dabrowski knocks the puck aside. Back up front. Kruger gets a body on. Puck gets knocked down low. Aldridge sends it on the sideboard. Carter puts this guy into the board. Brzgintzis flips that ahead, and that's going to be an icing. Pulauskas, Paulo, and Reynolds come back on. Onak and Miller at D. Florida, quick pass. Wasn't able to get a shot on. Goes over to Pulauskas. Pulauskas gets past one guy, tries to split him. Puck over to Reynolds. Reynolds brings that puck in. It gets knocked away and on net. Covered. 53.4 seconds to go in the second. Paulo wins that back to Miller. Miller takes a shot on. Finds its way to Onak. Onak carries it down. Puck in front. Looked like it got knocked in, but waved off. All right. Same personnel. Paulo's going to take this. Reynolds is offset behind him. Reynolds gets that face-off off of a win. Puck goes wide. Florida sends it back into the corner and then across. Carried it off the side. Tries to flick it forward. Hits the bench of Fury. And we'll get an in-zone face-off. Beachy, Fletcher, and Chalicki are going to come on. Puck gets knocked loose. Miller picks it up. Miller escapes. Goes behind Dabrowski. Puts it back over for Onak. Onak up the boards to Chalicki. Chalicki loses an edge there. Florida sends it back in. Miller going to get it. Protects the puck for Onak. Onak over to help. Florida digs it out. Try to get a shot blocked by Nietzsche, and that'll be the end of the second period. So 1-1 after 2. I had to move down because there's a glare of this big white SUV on the glass right here from this angle. Yes. Yep. Exactly. If it were a black SUV, it probably wouldn't have been a problem. We're gonna start the third period with Campbell, Rubicki, Nietzsche, Chalicki, and Letcher. All right, Nietzsche takes the face off, knocks back between his legs, and Florida picks it up. Florida goes to the right side, brings it in. Nietzsche ties up. Florida tries to dig it out, knocked back to their D. Shot goes wide and bounces behind the net over to the left side of the boards. Campbell puts that puck up to Letcher. Letcher across for Rubicki. Rubicki to Chalicki. Chalicki's stick is lifted, but they wave icing. Florida comes out of the corner, goes wide. Letcher was there. They try to knock that forward. Rubicki gets it back to Chalicki. Chalicki sidesteps a hit, loses an edge, but centers it for Letcher. Letcher takes an awful hit on the shot. He gets up, shoulder right into the net. That was a hard hit. A couple words for the ref from Letcher on that one, which, I mean, he did take a cross check. Kushkowski, Bergeron, and Credidio come on. Aldridge and Priskintis at D. Kushkowski sends that to the sideboard. Priskintis brings it in, centers for Credidio, gets deflected up to Aldridge. Aldridge gets a lane and gets blocked in front. Bergeron in the corner. Still working for that puck. Credidio knocks it back to Aldridge. Aldridge shot in front, goes wide. Bounces over to the board. Kushkowski tries to drop for Credidio. Florida in the way, gets it into the neutral ice, and Credidio hits it high. Priskinsis touches it, and so that'll be a high stick. Kruger, Carter, and Brown come on. .15:43 to go in the game, still 1-1. Kruger to take the draw. Kruger wins that faceoff over to Priskinsis. Priskinsis gets it high, and that'll be an icing. Just not quite able to get the touch that they want on that play. But we'll set up and try again. Kruger wins the faceoff again to the corner. Porzingis does get the touch that he's looking for. Florida steps in front of it this time and sends it back into the corner. Knocked back behind Dabrowski. Aldridge picks it up, sends it up to Brown. Brown got space, carries it in. Puck gets hit by Florida and into neutral ice. Porzingis escapes some traffic. Puck gets knocked down and over to Florida. Florida sends it back in. It deflects off of Carter's stick. Goes low for Dabrowski. Dabrowski looking for Aldridge. Aldridge gets interfered with, but the puck gets flipped out of the zone. Carter coming in hard. Puck. Good stick by Kruger to get to that. Passes to Porzingis. Porzingis to Carter. Carter carries forward. Polauskas has come on. Brown went for a change. Kruger behind the net. Polauskas over into the corner, takes the puck away. Quick move, tries to make another. Puck goes loose to Miller. Miller brings it down low. Paulo's come on. Reynolds is on. Polauskas knocks that puck away, and then he tries to make a move and gets knocked away. Florida picks up the loose puck, sends it cross ice. Onak is there. Paulo comes over to help. Pass. Try to make another pass. Gets blocked by Miller and then knocked into neutral zone by Reynolds. Florida chips it in. Dabrowski tries to send it out. He misses, and the puck goes to the backboard. 13:40 to go. Still 1-1. Puck to the sideboard. Sent back by Paulo. Puck sent back in. Miller hits it, so Dabrowski slows it down for Campbell. Campbell to Paulo. They're going to give Paulo some space, so he's going to carry forward. Paulo takes a hit in the corner. Florida takes the puck back, goes up the sideboard. Letcher's come on from a change from Reynolds. Rubicki and Campbell at D. Oh, no, sorry, Reynolds is still out there. Letcher came on for Pulaski. Florida sends that puck. Fury's offside, so we had to tag up. Florida sends it in anyway. Campbell gets stick. Sends that puck to Chalicki. Chalicki chips it in on net, and goaltender decides to hold it. Porzingis and Aldridge at D. Nietzsche, Letcher, Chalicki. Nietzsche just lost sight of the puck for a second. Florida knocks it away. Aldridge puts it back into the neutral zone. Florida's offsides, and so we get a whistle. 12:18 to go into third, still 1-1. Florida controls that face-off. Aldridge gets a stick on the pass, and it goes out of play. Same personnel for this face-off. Puck goes behind Nietzsche. Florida digs it out. They set up, go D to D, and then up the sideboard, chipped into the middle of the ice. Letcher takes it away, sends it back into the neutral zone. Florida mishandles. Letcher gets a hold of it. He's got toe drags a couple of guys. Gets a shot. Letcher with the second goal. So I think that'll be Letcher unassisted. Kushkowski, Bergeron, and Credidio come on. 11:46 to go in the game. 2-1 after the second Letcher goal. Really good patience by Letcher on the goal. Onak sends that puck in. Bounces off a few people. Shot goes high from Onak. It goes over across. Miller chips it in. Kushkowski gloves it down. Passes to Bergeron. Hits off of Berge's stick. Or skate, I'm sorry. And on net. Good opportunity. Great pass by Kushkowski. Credidio offset behind Kushkowski. Puck bounces. Kushkowski does get it to Credidio. Credidio sends it to Miller. Miller's shot goes high off of the glass. Kushkowski over to the sideboard. Dumps it low for Bergeron. Florida sends it around. Credidio gets this guy into the boards. Miller tries to kick that puck and keep it in. It goes into neutral ice. Bergeron gets it over to Onak. To Kushkowski. Kushkowski sends it in. Credidio coming in on the forecheck. Florida goes D to D. And back from behind their goaltender up the sideboard. Miller picks that up, tries to put it forward for Credidio, gets knocked away. Miller again around for Kushkowski. Kushkowski chips it to Bergeron takes it down low. Good protection, gets it to Credidio. Credidio tried to pass that to Kushkowski, gets deflected. Credidio digs it out, winds up going to Miller. Miller's shot goes wide. Puck around to the sideboard. Credidio's going to go for a trip. Oh, calling a hook. All right. So we're going to go back on the kill with 10:25 to go. Paulo and Reynolds come out with Campbell and Rubicki. All right, Fury gets kicked, so Paulo goes over, Reynolds comes on. Florida wins that puck back. They get it up to their D. Carries it across. Quick passes up on top. Carried back down, shot in front, bounces off of Dabrowski. Up the sideboard. Good stick by Reynolds. Reynolds on his horse trying to get to it first. Florida gets there. Carries it back in. Reynolds picks up a loose puck, goes back behind Dabrowski and clears the puck, sends it all the way down. Florida drops it back, carry it forward, and then chip over to the right side. Bounces off. Rubicki sends it all the way down. The goaltender's going to play it. Letcher's come out with Nietzsche on the kill with Aldridge and Chris Gintis. Minute 2 to go on the kill. 9:25 in the game. Florida sends it back in. They're down below Dabrowski, around to the right side and up. Played back down onto the boards and try to walk through. Knocked down by Nietzsche and Prisgintis and cleared. Florida has to regroup. Nietzsche goes for a change. Paulo comes back on. .27 seconds to go. Florida with the puck goes cross ice. Quick shot in front, blocked. Florida again, sending the puck across. Letcher is there, and puck goes into the neutral ice. Florida trying to carry back in. Letcher harassing, knocks the puck away, and Florida is offsides. 10 seconds to go, and we're going to send out Reynolds and Pulauskas with Miller and Onak. Face off, one back to Onak. Onak sends it around, and 3 seconds. That should kill the penalty. Credito comes out of the box. Paulo comes back on the ice. Onak sends the puck in. Pulauskas coming in hard. Florida leaves the puck back, but it doesn't go anywhere. Reynolds comes in to help, and Pulauskas and Reynolds working the puck off of the boards. Get it to Miller. Miller over to Onak. Onak's shot is blocked, breaks the stick of a Florida player. Florida's broken 3 sticks in this game so far. Puck sent back down low again. Paulo gets a stick on it. Onak keeps it. Pulauskas comes over and helps. Centering pass gets deflected by Florida, kept in by Onak. Down low to Pulauskas. Pulauskas trying to get it to Paulo. Florida behind the net. Waiting for a lane. Reynolds goes to change. Pulauskas goes to change. Florida gets the puck in. Over the corner, Onak gets it to Miller. Miller to Paulo. Cross for Brown. Brown gets a stick on it. Puck goes high. Kruger's come on. Kruger chips that puck in low. Kruger, nice body check. Puck gets up to Campbell. Bounces over Campbell's stick. Brown, Carter, Kruger, Campbell, and Rybicki out. 6:55 to go in the game. Puck up to Brown. Ahead for Kruger. Brown picks up the puck that was deflected by Florida, gets it to Campbell. Campbell sends the puck in hard around. Carter's over there. Gets past Carter, but Florida misplays it. Kruger is there. Puck had come out. Brown played it, and they're going to call intentional offside. Krzyzkowski, Creditio, and Bergeron come on. 6:32 to go in the game. Still 2-1. Letcher with both goals. Krzyzkowski wins that back to Rybicki. Rybicki to Bergeron. Deflects off of Berge's stick and goes down the middle of the net. Krzyzkowski comes over, gets some pressure. Bergeron to Krzyzkowski. Krzyzkowski tried to center that. It gets deflected off of a shin pad of Florida. Rybicki sends that puck back in. Bergeron gets in the way. Campbell gets a shot, gets deflected, and goes into the corner. Puck cross to the other side. Berge's there, pins his man. Puck dug out by Krzyzkowski for Creditio. Taken away by Florida. Florida's got a couple guys in on the rush. Creditio comes in, ties up his man. But that puck went wide. Krzyzkowski has a lane. Creditio. Shot is blocked. Puck low. Centering pass for Burge. Goes loose. Aldridge gets a shot. Prisgintis battling on the boards. Kicks that puck. Florida gets the loose puck out from under him and carries in. shot. I can't tell if it was blocked or deflected, but it went low and back to the neutral zone. Chalicki comes in on a change, puck to Kushkowski. Kushkowski sends it down. It hits the glove of Florida. Chalicki comes over hard to play, making Florida have to race. Letcher's on. Puck over to Prisgintis. Nice pass to Chalicki. Chalicki has a little stop and then sends the puck low. Letcher to Nietzsche. Nietzsche up for Aldridge. Aldridge shot in front. Gets on net, but bounces to the corner off of the pad. Centering pass from Letcher to Nietzsche. Aldridge sends that puck down low. Florida sends it around, bounces off of the boards, deflected back into Florida's zone. And Florida sends it for an icing. 4:29 to go in the game. Paulo. Oh, no change yet. So Paulo came on quickly, but they called him back. Nietzsche, Letcher, and Chalicki are going to stay. Miller and Onak at D. Florida wins that faceoff, sends it up the boards. Miller gets in front of it. A pass gets deflected back into Letcher's hands. Letcher, off of the sideboard, avoids some contact. Gets the puck to Miller. Puck goes wide. Puck back to Letcher. Letcher to Chalicki. Chalicki back up to Onak. Onak down for Chalicki. Chalicki still battling. Puck comes around. Miller keeps it in. Goes low for Letcher. Letcher centering pass, looking for Chalicki. Gets blocked. And Onak sends the puck back to the corner. Nietzsche, puck protection. Chalicki digs that out. He gets hooked. We're going to go on the power play. 3:45 to go. Chalicki having a great shift. Was hard to contain for Florida, and they finally take a hooking penalty there. Puck goes on net, and we'll have to do this all over again. Pulauskas taking the face-off with Paulo and Reynolds. Florida goes early, and they get kicked out of the dot. Puck knocked over to Florida. Florida tries to clear. It goes to Onak. Onak to Miller. Miller back to Onak. Onak carries in. Puck comes off of the boards. Reynolds shot hard and a little high. Miller has to settle the puck down, keeps it in. Back over to Florida. Florida tries to send it past Miller and does. Onak sends it up to Miller. Miller escapes, circles. He's got a lane in the middle, goes over to Pulauskas. Pulauskas. Shot is blocked and into the netting. 3:03 to go. Letcher, Chalicki, and Nietzsche are going to come back out. Minute 19 left on the power play. Letcher is early, gets kicked out. Nietzsche comes in. Nietzsche wins it over to Letcher. Letcher back to Rybicki. Rybicki to Letcher. Letcher to Rybicki. Rybicki to Campbell. Back to Rybicki. Over to Letcher. Letcher takes a shot. It's blocked. He knocks it off of the guy. Didn't know where it was. Back to Chalicki. Chalicki behind the net. Over to Campbell. Campbell for Rybicki. Back to Campbell one time. High. Off of the glass and around. Bounces away from Letcher, but Rybicki's there. And he's going to reset up. 48 seconds to go on the power play. 2:31 in the game. Rybicki behind Dabrowski. Over to Letcher. Letcher coming down the boards. Got space, so he just carries it in. Puck knocked away. Florida trying to clear it. Loose over to the right side. Campbell keeps it in. Puck down low. Nietzsche coming in hard. 21 seconds to go on the power play. Florida clears it. Sends it all the way down to Dabrowski. Dabrowski waits. Leaves it for Rybicki. Pulauskas is on. 4 seconds to go. Last rush. Nietzsche. To Prusgintis. Prusgintis' shot is wide. We're even, and Florida coming through the neutral zone. Puts the puck on Dabrowski. He sends it to the opposite board. A big mess in front. And that's an icing. So minute 20 to go. Paulo joins Reynolds and Pulauskas. Prusgintis and Aldridge. Oh, you would think, right? Right, yeah. Goes for an icing. I don't know, maybe he's supremely confident. Oh, there he goes. Florida pulls the goalie. So they're going to get a sixth attacker on. Face off one back. Shot is wide. It's behind Dabrowski now. Florida sends it up the boards and across. Back down low. Up to the point. Reynolds' stick is broken. Tried to clear, kept in by Florida. Reynolds blocks either a pass or a shot and this loses a stick. Timeout, Florida. Right. Oh, Letcher is out there with Reynolds and Paulo. Shot is wide. Florida still working it, gets it up the boards, up to their D. Cross. Shot blocked by Letcher, goes to the backboard. 27 seconds to go. Puck is pinned. Comes loose. Reynolds gets it out. Florida has to regroup. They send it in. It goes wide off of Dabrowski. Puck covered. No rebound. 10.4 seconds to go. Good job getting a cover there by Dabrowski. Nietzsche's going to come back on. Puck sent back down low. Florida trying to center it. Hits off of Nietzsche's stick and goes out. That should do it. All right. So 2-1 win. We will be back again tonight. I think 5 o'clock. And we'll see you all later.